Hi guys. So today I'm outside working on my table. I think I'm gonna work on this big portulacaria here. This is one that I did an unboxing on a few months ago, but it's been outside and um, it's it's unfortunately had some squirrel damage, but I'll show you that here later once I get it repotted. But um, what I want to do while I'm outside here is go ahead and get it repotted into a new pot, and then I'll kind of start working on the top of it and see what's going on, see how much damage the squirrel caused. But let me get in here a little closer so you can see the repotting. Okay, I've got it repositioned, so let's see if we can get it out of the pot. I haven't watered it yet today, so it's pretty dry, so it should slip right out. Yep. So we'll see if we can break some of this soil away. Looks like it's got quite a few fine roots in it. The only thing I don't like about this soil, and it was on one of the other trees that I got from, this is from Weigert's, is I don't really care for the soil that it's in. It's really organic. It's good for root development, but just doesn't drain the way I want it to, and it's got a lot of perlite and stuff in it, but I just prefer a little bit more inorganic soil just for drainage. And like you can see, the top here is really hard and crunchy, and it's hard to break the soil up without damaging the roots. I guess I could probably wet it down. It might come off easier. I might end up doing that, but it's just very difficult to get the soil off of the roots without really damaging the roots. But we're going to take our time and see what we can get done. Just use pieces. Use the chopstick just to try to rake some of this stuff out. Yeah, it's almost, like I said, the top gets really hard. Makes it difficult to get it apart. I'll just continue trying to rake some of this out. I may speed up the video a little bit just to fast forward through some of this. Here's a little gift from the squirrels. Not only do they like to chew on the trees, they plant peanuts that the neighbors seem to be feeding these guys, and we end up with these peanut plants all over our yard and in some of my trees. All right, got quite a bit of the soil off, so just trying to get just a little bit more, and then kind of look and see what's going on with the roots. See if I need to, definitely need to prune some, but just kind of see what I've got going on up here, if I can reposition some of these. Like this one here, it's kind of going off to the side, but if I can get it repositioned a little bit and let it continue to grow down, that might work. And I think I can keep this one down. I think now I'm going to prune off some of the longer ones on the bottom. Like I said, the soil does cause nice root development, you know, a lot of fine roots, but it's just a kind of a pain in the butt to get off of the roots. Still kind of a tangled mess here, but like that. That's going to stay though. Just trying to look at it to see if I can kind of see what the front's going to be. All right, so let me get this dirt and stuff out of the way, and then I'll come back and we'll start looking at a pot for it. Okay, so here's the pot that it's going to go in. Just trying to determine, you know, what a good front would be. Kind of like the trunk movement here, because we've got a good abari, and then it's got some movement. Turn it around and see. Also looks decent from this side, other than the squirrel damage. Let's see if I can get in here close, and I'll look at it, and I'll show you guys later too after I get some of these limbs pruned out of the way. But you can see it took a huge chunk out of that and chewed up on these branches. So yeah, like I said, really disappointing and frustrating, but we're going to make the best of it and get it potted up and see if we can turn it into something. But since it kind of did chew on the other side, I'm almost thinking this is a better front. Like I said, it's got some movement. We can probably get rid of some of these branches that are pointing out to the front. But I like, it's got some decent roots down here, the ones that the squirrel didn't chew on anyway. And yeah, I think we can make something of that. And then, like I said, the trunk's got some decent movement in it. And I mean, another option would be this. It's not a lot of movement. It kind of moves here. And then I've got these two branches up here. I could take one off and let it kind of curve, but I'm still kind of liking this view right here. So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to go with. Just trying to look at some of these branches up here to see what it looks like. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. I've just got some big roots down here that are keeping me from getting it nestled in the pot good. See if I can get some more of that soil out. See if I've got a root in there I need to prune off. Get a thick. I think offset to the right like that. And then let the trunk kind of curve back this way. The squirrel kind of messed with the taper down there, but like I said, we're just gonna go with it and kind of see what happens. So let me get some soil in here and we'll get it potted up. All right, so let's get some more soil put in here. Just get some of this soil nestled in before I put more in. Just make sure it gets down in the roots. It just takes a little bit here on some of these bigger trees, just to, especially when they've got a lot of roots, to make sure you've got the soil nestled down in between all of them, so you don't get any root rot. But just take your time, and you can see it as you're kind of twirling your chopstick or whatever you're using around. You can feel the soil and see it just kind of dropping down. and nestling in the roots. And when you're nestling the soil in, I go kind of in towards the tree just to make sure that I'm getting the soil nestled in towards the center of the root mass too. Because if you're just going down the sides like this, you could leave some gaps in the center. So try to angle in a little bit just to make sure you're getting it all nestled in. And as you're doing it, you can kind of check your tree. It should become quite a bit more stable. And then you kind of know that it's kind of getting nestled in here. It's starting to feel pretty good. As you can see, sometimes just kind of tapping on it helps nestle the soil into, even the sides. Sometimes you can use a rubber mallet, tap the sides, and it helps nestle the soil in. But it's starting to feel pretty good. Prune some of these roots off that are sticking up through the soil. They'll die off anyway, but just to make it look a little better, I'll get them taken care of. And we can sprinkle a little bit more soil down, just cover them up the rest of the way. I'm seeing that it was leaning a little bit to the back, so I'm kind of lifting the tree up and tilting it forward and then nestling the soil back in just to give it a little bit of a lean towards the front. Yeah. I think that's going to be where she sits for now. And then let me get the rest of my tools out, and then we'll come back and start looking at the branches and prune a little bit. Okay, so let's start looking at it. But first, let me See if I can get in here close to this squirrel damage. As you can see that it took a good probably 1/4 inch of thickness off the trunk down into the inside of the trunk. It chewed on this branch up here, it chewed on this branch, chewed some of the roots down below. So it did some pretty good damage, and it was a little, like I said, it was really frustrating because this was a tree that I was really looking forward to working on and developing. Like I said, I ordered it from Weigert's, and it came in. It was a really nice size. It's probably, if you really count the top, it's a couple feet tall. I mean, I'm probably going to take it down to where it'll be, maybe 16, 18 inches tall, but still, it's a really good size. And this trunk base is a good 2.5 inches across at the root base. The trunk is probably 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches diameter here. So it's a really, really nice tree. But we're just going to make the best of it. And if you, like I said, if you guys have any tips on how to keep squirrels out, I mean, I put up a canopy, like a net tent canopy thing. I'll show you a picture of it here. It's basically like a raised garden bed net, and I think it's going to keep the squirrels away. But let me know if you guys had any luck, working on keeping the squirrels away with any other method. But I just wish I would have done that before the squirrels got to my trees. But this was the worst damage. It got my windswept jade. It got chewed on my Frankie, my large one. But I'll show you those when I prune them. But anyway, I don't want to focus too much on the negative here. But I think with it, potted this way, using this for the front, leaving the damage towards the back, it doesn't look too bad. It still has a root flare, has some nabari. This little, where he chewed it here, it kind of creates a little bit of inverse taper. But like I said, I'm just gonna make the best of it, and it just adds another story to this tree's history. So let's go ahead and start doing some branch selection. Since I've already determined this is the front, I've got these branches that are sticking right out at me, so I think I'm going to get rid of that to start with. And I suppose I could, start making some new trees out of these cuttings, but we'll see where it goes. I don't really need any more trees, but sometimes you can't help yourself. Now the next decision is, how far up do I want to bring my branches? I think this is too low here. So I think I'm going to remove these bottom 2 branches. Let me just step back and take a look at it. Yeah, just really disappointed because I have some inverse taper here, this little bulge anyway, but then this just makes it worse looking at this piece down here. But like I said, we're going to make the best of it. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these lower branches. I don't think I want those. And this may be a 2-part prune, because I may leave some of these branches just to help heal the tree, let some more growth happen in there. So I may just leave this one on here for now. Just kind of get it a little bit somewhat in shape, and then kind of come back and revisit it once I know it's healthy from the repot. See if I can get some new, not really bark, but get some new growth here to kind of fill that in, but take some of the height down. because I don't want the tree this tall. And what I'm doing now is just kind of a profile prune, just to kind of take some of these long shoots off. I get it in shape and just kind of see what I want to do with it. Like I said, this may be a two-part. I may just kind of give it a profile prune today, maybe look at some branch selection, but then come back to it once I sit and look at it and study it in this pot for a week or two, and then come back and do a more kind of a final styling. But we're just going to get it in shape for today. I'm not going to worry too much about crossing branches and everything. Like I said, I'm just going to let it sit and kind of study it now that it's in a better pot, and then I'll decide which branches I want to keep and go for a more final styling. So some of these things I can just tell that I'm not going to want, up and down branches. Can I get those out of the way now? Really going to take this top down a little more aggressive, because it'll bud back out and really get ramified and dense up here quicker than the rest of the tree. So I don't mind getting a little more aggressive on the top. Yeah, that's not looking too bad. Like I said, I'm going to do some work on these branches, but I'm going to leave them there to let it continue to grow for a bit, and then come back and then I'll do a little bit more to it. Some of these vertical branches and the ones that are growing back towards the tree, that's kind of what I'm trimming off now, because I know I won't want those. Those won't improve over time, so I'll just get those out of the way now. Got some crossing ones here. Go ahead and take some of those out, but like I said, I'll hit those again later. But I think for this session, I think that'll just about do it. I'm happy with with the repot and the style of it so far. Yeah, I really like the trunk movement. I like the way it ended up in the pot. And like I said, we'll do a part 2 of this when I come back and maybe do some final branch selection and things like that. But I think for today we'll leave it just like that. I'll give you a quick spin around so you can see it. There's the front, there's the left side, there's the back, right side, and back to the front. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.